finish the rest of Nume.
Nice. All right, we are live. Get people a little bit. Anybody watching back on YouTube later on? Be talking about the couple regionals that we had. First of BT16, kind of getting our feet wet in BT16. I played in the regional. Most of my friends at locals played in regionals. My online teammates played in the regional. So several of them did, at least not all of
I didn't want to play regional.
them. So got some good feedback from across the board. So some of it's not really a surprise. Some of it surprised me, but apparently I'm like one of the only ones that didn't see it coming because it seemed like everybody knew about it, and that's the new Nume tech that we're going to talk about. Just give people a little bit longer to filter in here. You know when I'm going to start talking about stuff is when I switch the face cam to the shared web page in case you want to skip ahead.
All right, Chase. I don't have any of that old Digimon.
The starter deck one?
Yeah, apparently I don't own any.
That's wild. We'll go buy you some starter decks, get you some memory boosts.
Does that stock out?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, they were at like every Walmart ever for ages.
Yeah, but see, now that I want one, they're not going to be there.
That is how it works.
So,
All right, let's swap this. That's not the right one. This is the one. All right, so for our data on the Brisbane, we're going to be going over to Eggman's page here. So I keep that saved in my favorites at this point just because his layout is so nice on everything. I keep refreshing, hoping that we're going to have our US one, but we just have, I think this is Australia's, and that's it. So that's what we're going to be going off of here for this one. And then I do have a breakdown from ours that someone posted in Discord. So when we talk about that one, we'll be there. So,
oh,
and I'm joined by the nearly dead Yugo Souls, by the way. BT Dub. Were you saying something?
oh, I was going to, and then I sneezed. Now I'm in pain, so I forgot.
Okay. So here we got the first regional. This is our top 16s from Brisbane. So Nume still reigning supreme. Nume and Mirage both have a massive chunk, of course, of this pie chart. But a couple surprises. Lugamon, which we talked in our tier list video, we talked about Lugamon being actually a pretty good counter to the new decks that are coming out because of Alliance. They're basically always Lugamon or Finral is always bigger than the Magna X, so it doesn't really care about the Magna X matchup. Like, they'll just keep swinging and popping and swinging over, and there's not really much Magna X can do about it. So,
Yeah.
pretty good stuff there, but it still, of course, struggles against other decks that exist. Of course, like Nume still has a rough matchup there. Mirage just outpacing it and bouncing all your stuff. Like, what do you do? So it's got Lugamon, great matchup against the newer decks, but still struggles against the older ones. Let's go ahead and take a look at that list. You play this deck way more than I do. I have it built, and I've never actually gotten to play it much, besides like
So I thought
testing.
his is more of SOC than Lugamon.
Oh yeah,
Because he's running.
he's got the
Yeah.
new stuff in there. Yeah, so he's got the Doragora, he's got the Kosuke's. Only one Kosuke, but no level
So
fives, no Dora Grays. So the level four, a few level fours, and then a few of the level sixes. But the rest is still pretty much just Finral.
well, I mean, like the Soul Lugarmon, the new one pops bodies, and then the old one just kind of play stuff out. So
Right. So what's walk us through with the Dino B, right? Because Dino B is pretty much come in for like every single version of this deck. Dino B is like in all of them. So like what's so great about this?
basically, after you alliance with your Finral, or I guess with your Dora Goramon. Oh yeah, Dyslexia won that battle. Um, yeah, after just alliancing with those, you can then DNA with your smaller bodies to go in the Dino B to play a free, which he can play Ukamon, Sethmon, or he can even play the Dino B from Trash if it's in there. So he's just got a bunch of different. It's just basically two more swings on top of your 4 checks.
Right, because the Dino B himself doesn't have summoning sickness. So you swing with him, and then whatever he brings back, realistically, is probably what you're going to be giving Rush, and then it can attack as well. So kind of like Chimera, but like even better, right? Because now you get 2 swings and essentially 2 bodies. So
Yeah.
yeah, Dino. If you're playing Finral or just Lugomon in general, and you're not running the Dino B yet, you really should make that switch because yeah, it is stupid good, really. All right, let's see what else we got here. This yellow vaccine, is this true yellow vaccine or is this just armors? Okay, so this is vaccine armor. They're just calling it yellow vaccine. So a lot of what we've seen already. They are running the Pillamon at 4 of. I talked about that in my build. Players can't play Digimon by effects. I was like, none of the other like rookies really feel like they do much, but this Pillamon could. And yeah, they went heavy into it. So I think everything here is pretty standard. The Digimon Emperors are a surprise because this is really a control deck, right? I mean, we're not talking setcon levels of control, but it is up there. And so Digimon Emperor always a solid include. What is this for though? I guess Nume. This hits Nume really hard, right? Because they never have go any higher than a rookie in raising area.
I think Nume is only running Ukas now, unless I'm wrong. Ukas or Floodgates. I can't remember.
I saw the yeah. It's like the Chikirimons for black, or they're running the Agumons for black also that give them the memory, or they're running the purple package to get the draws. So
yeah, the topping list is running 2 Chew, 2 Chikiri, 3 of both Ukas.
Yeah. So, but it still hits the Ukas. So yeah, they're not going above higher than that. So you're going to be triggering your Emperors constantly in that matchup. So that's pretty cool. I dig that. You got a Venus. The Ruin mode also really good against Nume. So yeah, I dig it. I like the techs. The good tech choices here. Red Hybrid still hanging in here. That one surprised me because I really expected Red Hybrid to fall off. Like it's still just as good as always, right? It didn't get any worse. It got in fact a little bit better because of the new Ukamon, just helping your consistency out a little bit. But yeah, they ended up getting top 16. So also running the Valkyremon Ace, which we will talk about more when we get into our Numa stuff. Garudamon Ace as well. I'm curious of what their matchups were like for this tournament. If they played against a lot of the old stuff, which is pretty common, like whenever I played, that's what I played against was a lot of the old stuff. And yeah, so if they went against a lot of the old stuff, that makes sense. But if they went against like Magna X, I'm very curious of how that goes. I know the Valkyremon comes in pretty clutch.
I know my matchups, I only played 2 new decks, which was 1 armor and then what was the other one? I want to say Imperial, but now I can't remember.
Yeah, Royce or Roy Ice. Yeah, you if you go with the black base, yeah, your new maze can digivolve at least on top of your Floodgate rookies to get around the Digimon Emperor. So there is some benefit there of running the black base over the purple base.
Yeah, it kind of feels bad though too.
All right, let's see. Anything else interesting? Another yellow vaccine. I'm gonna hold off on the Imperial stuff because I'm gonna talk about that after a little bit. Tyrant though, so I expected Tyrant to do pretty well. Honestly though, not as well as I was hoping. I think this is its only top so far. Let's see. The build is pretty straightforward. I think. It's not anything too crazy, outlandish. They are still running the Cherrymon, which I found kind of surprising because now they have Izzy, right? So, but it's just a one of though. It's not like they went super crazy on it.
I mean,
They are running the Shiva. So this is how I built mine out. Well, I think I did a 2-2 on the Grand Quagamon Ace and the Shiva, and the 4 Tyrant, and then I got such crap for it in my comment section, like saying it was copium and stuff, and like Shivamon is just like unrealistic. And I'm like, really? I think it's honestly pretty on the level. And yeah, the build that topped is the one with the Shivamon. So yeah.
You're gonna get bullied no matter what.
I mean, yeah, that's part of YouTuber life, right? Is someone out there is not going to agree with you. But don't worry, there's other YouTubers that are more in line with your line of thinking, so just go watch their content instead. There's a little bit for everybody. But you're a big green player, though, so what do you think of this one?
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. When you look at it, it says Digitom is unknown. So I would like to know what Digitomas are running. I assume it would be the Motemon, the new one.
The new one, yeah.
So, but I'm also surprised we don't see the new Hercule Kabuterimon in here. At least there's a 1 of or 2 of.
Yeah, see, I didn't put any in my build either, and yeah, another thing that I got called crazy about. So I think it's either or, right? You either go with this like control-y package, or you go for like an aggro build. I don't think you can really run all of it because that's just too much, and your lines are going to be too thin. So I would say, yeah, pick either the control route or the aggro route. All right, so let's look at these Nume lists. Anything different here? Here we go. So I believe this is the first one. I should just click on that, right? Straight from the source. All right, so what's Nume doing different? All right, so this one rocked my world, right? I was not ready for this freaking tech. The Edamon combo. I'm sure a lot of people out there are like, oh yeah, I saw this. Like, we already knew about this, and I'm just late to the party, I guess. But so he has this when digivolving or on play, but until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP and gains start of main phase. This Digimon attacks. So you just throw this on like whatever like threat stack that they have and force them to attack, and then mid attack you blast Evo into your Valkyremon Ace, right? So you're going to end up hitting them with all that minus, and then if you have like blocker, you can then block, and it's going to be super weak, and you can just clear it. Yeah, they hit my, I want to say I forget, it was one of the Imperial. I'm pretty sure it was fighter mode, though, because if it was dragon mode, I could at least counter their ace with my own ace, because that's what dragon mode does, but I think it was a fighter mode, and they just like completely wrecked me with that combo. Like, I was not expecting it, so I wasn't playing around it. Stupid good, though. Stupid good. I think they said, what? A few people were talking about Venusmons and how Venusmon wasn't as great as they were hoping it was going to be.
I guess. They also didn't realize that passive effects worked the way they did. Because everyone's like, oh, it doesn't work on Magna. It does.
It does, yeah. You can still target them with these effects, right? And because they don't actually, like, they're still targeted and they're still technically under the whatever you want to call it, that when it goes to their turn, they're no longer immune. So that effect that's placed on them that they're immune to now is actually active and forces it. So yeah, it dodges a lot of like the Magna X's and stuff like that. So really interesting. Also, like the Venusmon here, right? You hit your opponent's Digimon with this -1, and then they don't get their when digivolving effects, right? So then Magna X can't get its ability to get immune to stuff. So it's a pretty rad combination. This deck is so good. Nume just frustrates me. It's not a Magna. Gotcha. Good to know. Yeah, because I have that post you made in the Discord, Roy. I have it pulled up when we talk about that. So thanks for letting me know.
bit confused.
About what?
Oh, I'm gonna not talk anymore. I told you I was tired before I hopped on, forgot we were streaming, not gonna lie.
Dang. Yeah, he's been up since like 3 this morning, so he's a little burnout. So if I have to do all the talking, so be it. But yeah, the rest of Nume is still just doing Nume things, right? Like nothing really any different. I don't think. Let's see, there was that. Yeah, that was literally the only Nume. Like I'm so tired of looking at Nume lists, so that was the only one that I actually brought up. Mirage. I bet I would assume they're running the new stuff, right? In the Mirage.
Yeah.
So yeah, we expected Mirage to still be solid, and it's honestly even doing a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. It got the new Galmon here. Is it this one? No. Where is it?
Can we do it?
Where is it? Am I just... Oh, there it is. Okay, so when Digivolving, both players draw one. Then if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, or this Digimon has 3 or more Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. So it's like a little 1 Evo cost, but it's also another source of jamming for them. So the Bukamon isn't like as needed as it was before, because not only they have the Betamon still for jamming, now they actually have a built-in into the deck, so you can actually like grab this off of your searches and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really good for your level 4's slot. And yeah, they're running it as a 4 of. So that was the big one. Also, a lot of people are swapping level 5s around. What is it? Is it this one? Yeah, the BT13. So when attacking, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand for the turn, this Digimon's attack target can't be switched. So this gets around, of course, the Magnamon X plays, right? So you just dodge everything that they do. And even against something like a rapid build, you're just like, oh, you're going to get hit with that DP minus. It's like, okay, well, I've got jamming in 3 different sources potentially for this level 5 here, so it's not going to really care either. So yeah, Mirage is still stupid good. Actually has really good just built-in text to deal with the meta. Zudomon Ace, still a stupid strong card. This one, because I played Imperial, right, and the Zudomon Ace actually messed me up really good because it's trashed any 2 sources, and so they would always hit like my level 4s for my partition or just the partition itself if I was in a mega. And yeah, it was just so frustrating. It's like the Zudomon Ace constantly turning off my partition. So frustrating. So yeah, not only is it good against Magnamon X and being able to strip the Magnamon, so that way they don't get their Wind Digivolving effect, but also really good against Imperial too. So
yeah, Zudomon messed up armor every time I played it.
Also Nume, because you trash the Nume X, right, and so they don't get the value there. Yeah, Zudomon, really solid card. If you're playing a blue deck right now, it is a really, really good include.
I'm gonna be upset if they're like, yeah, so the ban list is we're hitting Zudomon because Zuda did nothing wrong. Just hit Mirage, get it to go away.
Yeah, Mirage is frustrating. I was actually like talking about that last night. I was like, what do you hit out of this deck? Like, because anytime a deck, of course, lives past its projected lifespan, right, that usually gets hit. We already saw a hit before on Mirage, and they hit the level 5, and it's like all their other level 5s do a lot of the same stuff. It wasn't like that big of a hit. So I'm curious if they're going to hit it again. But what would they hit, right? I was thinking they either hit one of the Thomases down to 1, or they hit Mirage itself down to 1, because there is technically another Mirage, or a few. I think there's 2 others that you can pick from.
Honestly, hit burst mode.
I wouldn't want to hit the burst mode though. Like, burst mode is strong, don't get me wrong, but if it's the part that I hate about this is it's the all turns when a card is added. So like if you have like an inheritable that draws and the Mirage is out, they're gonna gain all that memory. Like, you search anything, like this all turns effect is what I hate the most about it. Like the rest of the deck, the offensive part, totally fine. I'm all here for it. It's that all turns effect that just gains them a ton of memory, especially mid to late game is brutal. For Nume though, I don't even have a clue.
X?
Like, yeah, I guess Nume X. I mean, is a really good card, But like everything in this deck is pretty good, right? The Magnamon engine in itself is really good. The Numemon X though is definitely rough, but I don't know. Yeah, this deck is just really good. I feel like the only thing they could hit out of it to even like make people question if it was an impactful hit or not would be the Numemon X. All right, so that's it for Eggman's. Oh wait, no, I was going to talk about Imperial stuff. So Imperial fanboys like me, this is one of the topping lists. For the most part, a lot of lists are very similar, but a few times the lists are actually different, and this was one of the ones that I found that was actually different from a lot of the others. One, they're running the new blue-red XVmon, plus 2000 DP. DP actually becoming more important. Like, yeah, jamming is great, but it's actually not as amazing because of like there's so much DP minusing, and you just need to be able to clear bodies. Also, this making it so you can't be deleted by battle can be really nice. Especially if you go like play this out off a partition is actually pretty spicy. The part that surprised me was their Stingmon ratios. Every other deck I've seen, they're swapped. Same with mine as well. They have the BT12 Pyldra at a 3 of, which I talked about this in my build. Trashing 3 sources from everything on your opponent's field is crazy good in a lot of matches. But I just kind of had every time I had this, it just felt so lackluster. So I didn't like this one as much. And yeah, so that's just my 2 cents. Also, they have a ton of tamers, 4 and 3. Wow. Let's see. Roy I says hitting the Thomas or Mirage. Yep. Monze X carries it a lot. And Uka getting hit would slow down the aggro. I know a lot of people don't want the Uka to get hit, right? Because it's just good for so many decks. Like, it makes, really bad decks better. But the issue is, it makes really good decks absurd. That's the problem. There's no good balance there.
My 2 cents for that is if they were going to ever hit the Uka, it would be after we get the reprints and whatever that box is, the 02 movie box from Bandai.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll hit it. I think they'll hit something else.
Yeah. I mean, it's really generic, but it's generically useful for everyone, basically. So, Enigma says, Stings feel like you need the draw to see pieces over piercing. Whenever I played this deck, like, my hand was huge. It was stacked all the time. And honestly, I was constantly avoiding using the draw cards because I played against so many Mirages. Like, in these big events, Mirages played so heavily, and the draw cards would just ruin you because they're just going to gain all that memory. So I was constantly finding myself avoiding that. In the piercing, oh my god, the piercing was so good because you just have so much that suspends, like the new Pyldra suspends. Yeah, just so much in here. And that piercing was so good. I was clearing boards like crazy. I was like, oh yeah, I get my piercing, so I don't have to worry about losing my attacks, and I get a clear board with, swing after swing after swing. That piercing was stupid good. Yeah, the memory, the gain the memory back was also a little bit more useful because I actually do find myself evoing a lot because of the new tamer. I can promote up at a raising area and play a free body, so I'm always evoing my Stingmons now. I'm almost never hard playing them anymore, very rarely. So that 2 evo cost here and then gain 1 back, essentially I only spend 1 memory to make my my DNA. It was just way more efficient, I feel like.
I just don't understand Imperial.
Let's see. There was another one here too. So this was the other one. So this has the ratios like a little bit more normalized here. The standard picks for what you want to do. They were running the movie promo Wormmon, which I want to, but I don't own any. I'm waiting for my P Bandai box to get in so I can get some. The thing that I like, though, is they ran 3 of the starter deck Pyldra, so you always get your double attack, which is great. The bottom decking was actually huge, like in my Nume games, when I'd bottom deck, and then that X antibody, Nume X would go to trash. Oh, it's so satisfying, but it's also kind of awkward, because in a lot of matchups, I just never had anything I could bottom deck, right? I mean, like, what big decks are out right now that are having 6,000 DP bodies that you can hit with the old Pyldra, besides Nume?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's really good against that matchup. And the thing is, the Nume matchup was my hardest matchup by far. Like, the Mirage, I felt fine all the time because I was like, oh yeah, I'll just they attack, okay, I'm just gonna hit them with the fighter mode ace and clear them. Oh, they're gonna use their blue training option. Okay, I've got the dragon mode all turns effect. I'm just gonna go into my ace and deal with it. Like, you know, whatever the case was. Like, Mirage just does not feel nearly as bad anymore, but Nume can be rough. So the old Pyldramon being at a 3-1 ratio with the BT12 one, that's actually what I'm going to try out next. Gigadeath, also really good into the Nume matchup, because you can place up to 10 of your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of their deck, and like they always have these really big wide boards, so that's really nice as well. Also, just eat your heart out if you're playing against Tyrant. Like, oh, they're gonna feel so bad. So yeah, I think that's where we're at on that one. And then this is, which one was this? Oh, that's one we're going to talk about later. This was my build. Yeah, this is the build that I ran. I was still running Hammer Sparks. And every time I played it, not every time, but several times I played it, people are like, Hammer Spark? Yeah, still rocking Hammer Spark, and it was so good. Hammer Spark was so good to have these, like, really explosive turns. The only stuff I kind of want to change around is you really want this Davison Kin at a 4 of. I feel like I don't really want to run 6 Tamers, but I might have to. This Digimon was pretty solid. I wasn't sure about it because you evo like your other stuff, but it actually came up a lot. The 2K buff was really nice, so actually kind of really dig this one, surprisingly. I still want to try out that Wormmon, but yeah, that Vmon put in work. And then I was just testing out, I want to drop the Mega Deaths for some Giga Deaths and just kind of see how it goes, and then change these ratios around. But like I was telling my teammates, I was like, this deck felt so good playing. I feel like I could have won every single game if I had been on top of it, if I had gotten a little bit more practice in during the week, because I wasn't. I mean, I even made a post on here that I wasn't going to play, so I didn't bother getting any extra practice in, and I so wish I had. I feel like I could have done a lot better. I went X3, I got 37th, I think it was. So, and then 2 of the people I played against, I think got top 16 or something like that. So, oh man.
Yeah, they sure did.
Let's see. Oh man, chat is blowing up over here.
Oh no.
Blue Flare played 8 Ukomon. Holy cow. Yeah, that's wild. Blue Flare getting 3rd place also. We're about to talk about it, but crazy. Imperial needs an option card since that blanket DP drains, kills the deck. Yes, it does. It's very, very frustrating. Yeah, kind of like the Awakening of the Golden Knight, right? And then the Sparkling card. Just need something for Imperial, kind of like that. Sometimes has a harder issue finding pieces fast enough to fight Nume. A little bit, yeah. I could see that. It's just, it's literally the hardest matchup for you, for sure, is against Nume. Because everything in their deck, basically, they just flood the field with rookies and champions, and they just rush you down. You don't have enough time to build back up, so you need like really big, like kind of OTK turns. Do you think they?
I love the new Edamon and Valkyremon play.
It's so nasty. Certain cards can't be played with others. Oh yeah, like they did for the Galaxy deck. Possibly.
You can't play Thomas with burst mode. Problem solved.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, it feels bad though, right? To do it like that, because Like the Edamon Valkyrie combo is really good, but it hasn't really been oppressive yet. So I don't know what else you could really combo with that one. Maybe in Mirage, be like you can't run Zudomon in a Mirage deck. I don't know. Like that is such a hard thing to balance where they do that sort of limit. Davis and Kin is the best card in the deck by far. Yeah, it's. I mean, I would say it's the second best. Fighter mode for me is the best card in the deck because that Blast Ace, that Blast Digivolve with that Ace just, oh man, it just wrecks people so hard. They could.
It's a nice towards your hand. It'd be a shame.
Oh yes, Roy I says they could hit the Ukos, and so that way you can't run both Ukos in the same deck. The 4/4.
Well, Red Hybrid's dead.
Oh, you're the 4th place. Oh, or sorry, 8th place, not 4th place. Got you, Justin Lim. This was his deck. Yeah, there's that combo again. There's yep. Only one Satsuki I'm kind of surprised about. And Louis not being used in everything, like every time my opponents play Louis, I'm just like, oh, that card's so frustrating. And then I'll just like not see it in decks at all, which kind of surprises me.
I never saw it. Whenever I played the two Numa matchups, I never saw the Louis, and I never saw the Digimon Emperor.
Yeah, I feel like Digimon Emperor is very much one of those that just kind of sit in hand depending on your matchup. It's not just one you want to play out in the wrong situations. Ted says you can play around the fighter mode really easily. I wouldn't say really easily. Like, you can know it's coming and just kind of like, you can take that hit on the chin knowing it's coming. But yeah, there's not really much you can do about the Davis and Kin, though. That, like, there's not that much tamer hate. Oh, in the Us one. Okay, so let's jump to... This was over the weekend. Here he is. He already posted it for us here. Thank you to Roy Ice. And he actually happened to mention me in that comment. I read that this morning. I was like, I don't know if I feel good or bad about the fact that 6th and 16th apparently are the ones that I played against, because that sucks. That, like, oh my God, like, that could have been me because it was that close. I also feel like I should have won that Mirage matchup. Like, my Mirage games all day felt really, like, in my favor. So, it was really a bunch of bummer. But the guy I played against, Steven, was super nice. We played several times against each other. So, but yeah, let's look at what we got here. So, Nume won this one as well. That was Huang Zero, so congrats to him. He actually went undefeated, and then we had to play an additional round and still went undefeated, so good job for him. Magna, of course. We got Blue Flare here. Do you have a link to that by chance? If you do, could you throw it in chat or something for us, and we'll take a look at it, because I'm really curious. You said we was running 8 of the Ukamon, so that's crazy. More Nume. So much Nume. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Almost exactly half of Top Cut. Like, if you think Nume is not going to get hit soon, like, I would be shocked if it didn't. Mirage, solid. Like, not crazy over the top on this one. Like Nume is, but still hanging in there very solid. We're still seeing the Magnas, though. Lots of Magnas. Ailforce here, though. So crazy. Where is it? So Huang Zero posted his. Here is his deck list, by the way, for what he got first place with. So he's going hard on the Ukamons. He ran the black package. So yeah, you see the Chikurimons and the memory blockers here. Why do I forget the rat's name? Chumon? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you hate the rat?
Oh, I don't. He's just been around for so long. Like, I don't know why I can't remember his name. That's so wild. You see the Edamon, Valkyriemon engine here. He only ran the 1 Venus, which I hear is going to be like the new popular way to do it. Only run the 1 Venus instead of the 2. A purple mat. That surprised me. Why the purple mat? Is it for when you discard cards?
Is it the structure deck one?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be for discarding. Yep, that's the one for discarding. Yeah,
So
when you discard a card, gain one.
pretty interesting. But here's the Ailforce list, though. This is way more exciting than looking at another Nume list. Again, Huang Zero, he did like a full 23-minute video on covering this, which I'm not going to do that, but still, Ailforce. So you've played a ton of Ailforce. Your Ailforce is max rarity, isn't it?
Can you like put my webcam on real quick?
No.
No?
No.
Because I'm currently building the Ailforce deck.
Oh wow. Yeah, right there.
My camera's now falling over.
Rip.
Yeah, Ailforce.
That's what you spend your time doing while we're streaming. I see how it is. I feel like that's what I usually do though. If I'm watching Digimon content, I'm doing like something Digimon related at my computer. So, oh, you got the pick? Okay.
So I enjoy this list a lot, but it's also because I just like seeing Ailforce top. Because this man deserves tops.
Like, please be PC.
Yeah, this man deserves all of the tops.
Oh yeah, like Ailforce, that's so crazy. Like I love to see it because this deck can be super bricky, right? And but I actually do like the change, right? So they're running the new Davis and Ken, so you can play out that body for free, and that just like I don't know, like free searches off of your the actual one dedicated, the Vmon dedicated Ailforce, stuff like that. He's got the black and blue Magnamon, which if you watch my stream, you saw how this messed me up. It was actually like a whole debacle. I wouldn't say a debacle, but like we had to go back and look at things like the fact that he had, one after another and like outed my guy was pretty crazy. But this card's so good. It's so good. Digivolve and also trash sources. Just wow, crazy.
It's great when it's in security, which it was never in security for me that entire tournament.
Ouch. The gold Digimon I thought was a surprise at a 4 of. So that's pretty cool because I have yet to see this card really like shine, like at all.
I mean, Vaccine Armor uses it now.
At a 2 of though, and that's just because it's a armor that's also a vaccine.
Yeah. But
it's not because it's like super good.
It's trying its hardest. I think it's a fine card. I think it works well in this just because it's just another armor form, and it's a 2 Evo over a Vmon.
Ted says you can use the Reno with the gold Digimon.
You can also do that. That is also a thing.
That's fair. And it is Digimon in name, so like it actually synergizes in multiple layers for you here. Everything else here. The one Davis though, only the one. The one that lets you that's the one that lets you play out the free Vmon on play.
Yeah, the reason why is because you're past your level 4s, you're no longer free.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
You become vaccine.
Let's see.
I think that's something we talked about before when I was playing the deck. It was like, yeah, it feels great. There's like half a free engine, half a vaccine engine.
Yeah. All right, so everyone's saying it's a guaranteed 3 memory for the Nume, right? But like, couldn't you just use any other memory setter though? Like, why specifically the mat?
I think it's just for the gain one. I mean, that one memory can matter in Nume.
Is it an all turns or a your turn? It is an all turns, right? Because you can use it in conjunction with the Metal Garurumon. So if you're playing bodies out that are discarding during your opponent's turn, that'd be pretty spicy.
I'm a purple player and I can't remember.
How dare you? You played so much Garurumon.
Yeah, it's an all turns effect.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the black ones aren't. Yeah, the black memory setters are not that great. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe the one that you use in Magna X, right? The new Seeker's Tamer Yulin. You could use her because she could give you Alliance if you want it, I guess.
Yeah. I thought that was Digipolice and X Antibody.
It is. It is X Antibody, but there's a lot of X Antibodies in this deck. So I just a thought. Shiva's Cope. Shiva's the only answer against Heaven's Judgment. Yeah, no, like I think Shiva's great. And then, against something like Mirage, right, where they're just playing like blue memory boost after blue memory boost after blue training after blue training, like prevent them from doing any of that. That seems pretty good too. So
No, you're just coping.
I am.
If you it's taught me anything, it's your coping.
Yeah, the Platinum and Gary, that's what I'm thinking. It's for when you do that drop and you gain that memory back. All right, yeah, geez, -3 memory to your opponent. That would suck. All right, let's look at this blue flare list here. Can I zoom into that? No? All right. You guys are just going to have to deal with it. All right, so we got 8 Ukas, and then the only other rookies are just going to be the, what is that, the on deletion lets you play out one of the level 4s?
Yep.
Yeah. We is running the Greymons as security tank +1. I remember when like people were talking about this, they're like, "Oh, it's really neat," but no one really did it much. Like you would see it a little bit, but this person they went heavy into it with 3. That's pretty cool. They got the Zudomons, which I've already hit that one multiple times of why that's great, and the Vikemon Ace. This is the first instance of Vikemon Ace I think we've seen topping, and everyone was like jumping all over this card when it was when it came out, that like, oh, Vikemon Ace is gonna be a new meta card, and then like we've barely seen it.
Yeah, we have not seen a lot of it. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's the best card, it's the best card," and then looking at the tournament results here, it's like no one was playing that card.
Yeah, Ted was saying that he was in the finals for BT16 Cup against Nume, and if he goes turn 1 Uko into Louis, the game was over since he had too much value going before I got into the game. Yeah, going first. Yeah, evoing. Oh, that's so busted. Oh, that's so frustrating, right? Just how crazy of that. Like, turn 1, you already have promoted up out of raising area. Jeez, and you got a Louis and a Ukamon established.
Oh, that sounds like normal Digimon shenanigans to me.
Yeah. And then, so the rest of it here, so we're seeing the Metal Greymons. That's all pretty standard stuff. We got the Zeegs. I think Zeeg is an underrated card. I like Zeeg Greymon, this one, because it's basically almost like a little mini Blitz Omnimon. So, I dig it. We're seeing the Louis here as well. So they're kind of doing something similar to what Nume's doing, right? So they're going heavy into that Ukamon package, into that rookie package that you never need a Digivolve on top of your rookies, right? Because your level 4s are a lot of on-play stuff. You play them for free off the Gauss. So yeah, they're going heavily into the Uka. I get it. That makes a lot of sense. We're seeing the 4 of course, that big expensive memory card, but that's to be expected. They're doing a 1-1 split here. They got the Full Moon Meteor Burst, right? And then they've got the new, oh god, what is this? The Full Metal whatever Blaze, I think it is. This card messed me up. It would bounce both rookies and try to bottom deck one of my megas. Thankfully, I always had Partition, but that card is good. Like, for 8 costs and you can clear 3 bodies, like, your opponent has to have 8 cards in hand. Like, how easy is that? Like, stupid easy to make that go off mid-game. So by the time you need to be playing an 8-cost removal option, it's probably far enough into the game that they've got 8 cards in hand, I feel like. So that card is being really, really good. I think it's being slept on because people are still going pretty heavily into the Full Moon Meteor Burst, but I feel like this card is even better, honestly.
I like it. I like seeing blue flare top. I'm surprised we don't see the Palomon Mega in the deck. I forget her name.
Oh yeah, Someone was running that in something recently. That's the where is she at?
I want to say the Dianamon, and now I can't remember it.
No, it's the new Jellymon Mega.
Oh, the Amphimon thing. Yeah. Yeah, that messed me up from
There she is. The new, is it the Ace? Is that the one that people are running? Yeah, so on play, when Digivolving, you may trash up to 4 blue cards in your hand. For each one, trash any one card under your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Then return one of their Digimon or Tamers without cards under it to the hand. So kind of like Zudomon, but like even more crazy. You do have to give up your own cards in hand, though, so that's kind of a bummer. And then when attacking by returning 3 cards with Jellymon in their text, which probably not going to be the case from your trash to the gain security attack +1. So, yeah, I've been hearing that people are saying this card's done really well, too, but I've yet to see it actually make a dent. But I've heard it mentioned several times. Or my opponents after will be like, oh, yeah, I had this card, you know, that would have been a great counter. I'm like, that would have been a great counter, but, like, it never come up. Everyone's saying Diana.
Yeah, that's the Apollo one I was trying to remember the name of. Because that card was really good. Because that card was used in Blue Flare for a hot minute.
When evolving, it's a blocker. For each of this Digimon's Digivolution cards, trash any one Digivolution card from one of your opponent's Digimon. Yeah, that's really good. Then, until the end of your opponent's turn, all of their Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't unspin. Oh, yeah, this one was used in Blue Flare. I forgot about that. Yeah. Because it's got that huge stun effect. Yeah, I'm surprised we don't still see this. That's crazy. Let's trash, unsuspend this Digimon. That's pretty good. So yeah, Blue Flare. I feel like we could still see Blue Flare. Like, there's no reason that people would not play this in this format, I feel like. It should still be solid, right?
I mean, I was told to play it last format. Because it was, words. It's very much of a road matchup, and if most people will forget how decks work, so.
Right. I guess
Blue Flare
Mirage really messes this up, right? Because they bounce like the Metal Greymons, and then you like lose your Digicross sources.
Yeah, but if you do it right, where they hit their full combo, you could probably just stun their Mirage for a turn. So I think it might just be you can't go too gung ho.
Yeah, their bodies are pretty small too, so like into the Magna matchup, like, yeah, your source stripping is really great, but at the end of the day, Magna is still a 12k blocker. Like, oh yeah, Imperial or natural counters, yeah. Yeah, anything that's got like a lot of source strip, and there is so much source strip going on right now, so I guess that's fair. There's so many counters being played against other decks that people are expecting to play that those same counters also hit this, which that's always been the case for me. Like, I want to play D-Brigade again, right? But like anytime you have a format that's like playing bodies by effect and people are running all those floodgates that prevent that, like, D-Brigade is in such a bad situation because of that.
D-Brigade feels bad.
Yeah, it's in a rough spot right now. That was one I brought up. Yeah. All right. I think that was everything. Let's go back to where we at? We're at play. Yeah. Here we go. So Ailforce, we talked about Numemon Mirages. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's just not there's not enough new stuff to like talk about. It's heavily the old stuff, and then we're still seeing a lot of the Magna X decks. I guess we can look at a few of those from Eggman's here. Let's see, not actually that many.
Yes, so if we're looking at Magna, my card to hit out of that deck would be Magna. Next question.
Which one?
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So this is, Yeah, this is pretty
Probably the
standard.
BG8 one.
The final Zubagon Punch. So I don't know how I feel about this card. Like I got mixed opinions about it. So one of your Digimon gets plus 3,000. Of course, you're going to use that on your Magna X. It's going to be at 15 with the baby. You're going to be at 16,000 or more. That Digimon gains blocker, reboot, and security attack plus 1. So because that's always a feel bad, right? You swing with your Magnamon X and then it unsuspends. You're like, well, do I save my blocker? Do I go for another swing? Like having reboot in this deck is so good. So that in combination, also you can have the Yulin to give you reboot as well, and the alliance for the mirror match. Like I think Yulin is like a mandatory in this deck, in my opinion.
And had that done to me on my first match. He had the tamer in the back, and he did it on his Magna, and then he mind linked and then went for it and was like, okay, alliance, one of the Vmons, two checks, unsuspend,
Dang.
and then he swung again. And I was like, oh, that's all 5 and like 2 checks.
Wow, that's
Like a Magna for
nuts.
game.
Let's see. Still think Magna X is a fine card. It's in the top 10 of best cards, but not ban worthy. I don't think it's ban worthy yet. Clearly, it's not doing enough, right? It's a really powerful card, sure. But guess what? Nume and Mirage are still the bigger slices of the cake every single time. So, granted, BT16 is hard to get. Magna X's are very expensive. Maybe that's a factor as well. Could be.
No, the Mirage matchup kind of feels unwinnable. When I played it, it felt bad.
I mean, if you can get your Magna X established and you can keep its protection going.
See, the issue with that is because during that, my opponent would always set up a level 5. He would just hard drop or not level 5, hard drop the level 4 to have Zudo Ace in hand. That's how, because he would always prep that.
Makes sense.
So.
Yeah, you play against those good players. What do you do? But yeah, you see the Zudomon Ace is in here as well. Like, it's such a solid card in so many different matchups. Like, against Imperial, it's good. Against Magna, it's good. I mean, it's one of the most played cards, I think, right now, in like across the board in the most different decks. Heaven's Judgment's also a pretty popular one, but Zudomon is even higher because it also has like Mirage under its belt, Blue Flare. So there's just so much. Zudomon is in everything. Pretty crazy. All right. Any last questions or anything from anybody, or any decks you want to see or talked about before we jump off of here? We've got just a few minutes left.
Y'all should say Ailforce.
Will Flamedramon ever be relevant again?
Flamedramon will be relevant again when we get the promo.
When will the promo be out?
Eventually.
No, that's a bad sign.
Let's see. I think we talked about pretty much everything. Everything worthy of talking about. Let's see. Is this yellow vaccine any different? Or is it just more? Yep, just more armor stuff.
Yeah, I don't like that it's called yellow vaccine. It's called vaccine armor.
Yeah, vaccine armor. Yellow vaccine is the angel deck. Like with Seraphi and stuff. Vaccine armor is this deck. I'm going to die on that hill that they're not the same deck, so call them different things.
Yeah,
Armadillo. What?
It's going to be real weird whenever we go to EX6 format and somebody's playing the actual Vaccine Angels deck.
I mean, I guess you could just call it Vaccine Angels, right? Yeah, they call it yellow vaccine. Like, Vaccine Angels, Vaccine Armor. Let's differentiate a little bit here.
Yeah, let's get something different.
Only 2 Emissary of Hopes, though. I was kind of surprised. I expect more. Because you could turbo so high up in this deck, it's crazy. All right. Well, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and hop on out of here. EX6 is soon approaching. So I think next week we're actually going to talk about some EX6. I know I promised you guys that match video or match stream, but I think we're just kind of in a position where we're going to use the stream to actually talk about EX6 instead, because I know a lot of people aren't overly thrilled about BT16. The funny thing is we're already done with BT16 format for regionals. So now we'll be going into EX6 format for all future regionals and ultimate cups and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we don't have anything else until July. So I think it's probably a good time to look at some EX6. I know that it's not like super crazy impactful or anything like that, but there is some good stuff in there worthy of talking about. Some stuff will be like meta relevant, of course. So we'll be doing some EX6 discussions next week. Pretty excited. I'm going to talk about some boys here. Well, and not even just boards, some lords. We're talking about some lords. That's what we're doing. All right.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something completely different.
Peoria is still biggest 16, blah, blah, blah. Oh, is that the California one, I think? Is that in-person Cali?
California girls were at the dock.
Tell me you're tired without telling me you're tired. Jeez. Oh, yeah. But EX6 is going to be fun. I think EX6, maybe not meta impactful like crazy, but it does look a lot of fun. Mass Day finally getting support. We got our Imperial support this set. Mass Day gets its support next set. So those two decks always seem like they go back and forth on getting their support. So ever since we got those starter decks, they've been kind of tied together. Illinois. All right.
That's not a state. That's a country.
On that note, let's let this guy go to bed, and we'll see y'all next week. I should have a video out for you guys on Wednesday for something. It might be that Wormmon Imperial deck that I promised. So definitely check that out. And I'll see y'all guys in the next one.